Hi folks, welcome to another moon forecast. I got my woolly hat on, so I'm feeling a little bit chilly. Keep your head warm. Got my new jumper. I actually love this fuchsia pink. I was like looking for some proper wool jumpers because so many days I'm just getting rid of all my synthetic materials out of my wardrobe. Um, so we will get into it because I'm not here to talk about woolly jumpers. But the new moon, so this new moon is happening in Scorpio on the 20th of November at 28 degrees and 12 minutes of Scorpio. And that is happening at 6:47 GMT time. So when I say degrees, don't worry about that. But if you are into astrology, this matters because you can look at if you've got any personal planets around like 24 to 32, no, not 32, to 30 degrees of Scorpio or 2 degrees of Sagittarius. If not, ignore that. Don't worry about that. Bit more of an insight there. So straight away, Scorpio. I feel like I'm in the energy of Scorpio right now with this Persephone journey that I'm guiding, which is it's a real initiatory energy. Like Scorpio asks that we dig deep to be with our shadows, be in the darkness. Because actually, when we're in the darkness and we really see and feel the shadows and make space for those like unconscious parts of us, that is how our light gets brighter. Like that's when we take our power back. Because often I hear this, and something I've been stuck in so much whenever I create a course or an offering, whatever it is, that like my ego wants to have a plan. It wants to have a step-by-step plan of, right, I take this step, then I take this. That is not creation, people. That is control. And this new moon in Scorpio is going to bring up your control tendencies. It's going to make you really aware of them. So to use the energy of this new moon, or you don't need the new moon, but it's going to shine a light on the ways you try to control. What are the ways you try to control? That could look like anxiety, it could be like procrastinating, it could be getting into a stressed out state. Just really become aware of like, okay, well, I want to see what are my controlling tendencies? What are those default patterns I go into to actually that stop me, you know, moving towards that creation, right? Like that thing in your ego is protecting you from something unknown, right? That creation is new to you. It's in the unknown, and likely it's going to feel you're going to be plunged into uncertainty. So Scorpio is about going to the depths, feeling it all. Really, this is a real good time to do like a deep sort of shamanic style journey and really like if you see that control, there's control tendencies, you can dig deeper and go, okay, what is it actually actually really scared of happening? Like maybe it's, and I realized this, of this free offering that I've created, which is going to be epic, by the way, and in person. It's called Nourish. I will share the details below this. It's in person. So if you're in the Hampshire area, check it out. Um, I realized I wasn't taking action on that and getting it out to the women that runs this yoga studio is because I was scared that I put on this amazing free event and no one shows up. And I'm just sitting in this yoga studio on my own with no people, like tragic, humiliated, feeling like an absolute failure, right? I allowed myself to see that to go there because it's not about getting rid of fear. Like every human is going to feel fear, right? If you're creating something new, it's natural to feel fear, right? We're only human, but it's giving space to that fear. It's feeling the fear because then it dissolves. So this is really about letting go and like, seeing those control tendencies, how they sabotage us, how they take us away from the things that we really want to create in life. Um, Yeah, and there's a lot going on in Scorpio. It's really about like, what are your deepest, darkest, it could be dark, like really edgy, kooky desires. Like, what are they? This is owning them and voicing them, right? It could be to somebody, a loved one, some desire that you really would love. And it could be owning a creation, something you want to create that course that you've been sitting on for months. This is the energy to, okay, what is bubbling up for you? What is alive? Because at a new moon, we don't have to wait. It sounds like probably counterintuitive with the work that I do, but it's not about waiting till the right moon phase. You don't have to wait till the right moon phase to take those aligned actions, right? I'm telling you this. And also, a new moon is like a new beginning energy. But also, if you feel like you have to be in the right state or it has to be the right moon phase for you to take action, then that's where you're giving your power away. And I might be being really controversial right now, and you're like, what the fuck are you talking about, Hannah? Like, this is what you teach. No, I'm just using the energy as a way to enhance that vision for you so that you can really go for what you want in life. Because at the end of the day, life is precious. We're not here forever. Like, I've sat on so many ideas for too long. Um, and of course, we can't take action on all of them all at once. But if you didn't have to worry about the outcome of how things were going to come together, like, what would you love to create right now? What is the thing that feels so exciting and so alive in you that you would love to create that thing? And take money out of this, because this is where we get messed up. Take money out of it. Like, if you didn't have to worry about money, if everything was just taken care of for you, imagine a moment. Take a moment to imagine. If you didn't have to worry about the roof over your head, the security, all the basics, like all your needs are met, like what is the thing that you would just love to create? And you don't need to know how that's going to happen. You just need to feel that aliveness. And that's the first step, is owning what you want to create. Start there. And then ask, what's the first obvious step to take? This is really an invitation into that right now. Yeah, and it's there's a lot of, there's gonna be a lot of depth or like intensity of emotion, because chances are a lot of us hide our desires. We don't feel like we're worthy of them. We don't feel we're allowed to have them. You are allowed to have that desire. It's in you for a reason. So you've got to birth that thing, right? It doesn't matter about the outcome. That's trying to get into the ego. It's being vulnerable to the thing you would love to create and just following the threads, And when you go into that underworld, like Persephone does, where she descends into the underworld, she is initiated, she is stripped of her facades, of all the identities, and she is laid bare, right? That's what it's about. About being vulnerable is about being naked and actually letting go. Nala, no. Oh, she's scratching the curtains, my cat. Um, Letting go of those facades, of all the things your ego wants to identify with, because your ego feels safe having an identity. And if you go for that, you're writing that book, you're creating that course, you're going to have to come up against your own resistance. You're going to have to overcome your shadows and you're going to have to face the fear, right? And that's half the problem, is why a lot of us don't go for the thing we really want to create, is because we're scared. We're scared of something not working out, of us being an absolute failure, of like us feeling the shame of that. But even if something doesn't work out the way that you want to control, that is not a reflection of your worth. That is not a reflection of your value in the world. It's just an external outcome. So it's about unpicking this and unraveling this. And this new moon is really showing us like the core, like what are your deep soul desires? I'm not talking about like your ego desires, like, I want to look powerful or successful. It's just like if you were naked, like I say, without those facades and identities, what would you love to create? How would your life look? Like just for you, not trying to impress anyone else or prove your worth or prove that you're successful. Like, what would that vision, life vision be for you? And just really dream, allow yourself to daydream. We don't do that enough. Um, yeah, so that's going on. Um, but there's also like a little bit of inattention at this new moon of like, okay, I'm really feeling all my feels. My feels are intensified and I don't feel like taking that action, so I'm not going to. It's like that energy. It's like, I don't feel like it. It'll be easier. The easy option would just be curl up in a ball and watch Netflix, right? The easy option would be to guard myself and not be vulnerable, put those walls up so I don't have to face my resistance, so I don't have to, point the arrow in the direction and claim what I desire. There's a resistance here of claiming your desires. Because if you claim your desires and you give them, what you want, then it's like, well, you got to go for it, right? So by you saying you don't know what you want, you actually do. That is your ego being resistant to the thing you want. So there's a bit of a kick up the backside here of like, okay, you say you really want this, but you're not taking action towards it. There's something something's incongruent in your energy. And believe me, I've been there and probably still am sometimes. Like, no one's perfect. You go and you realize your ego's controlling it, and then you go back and like connect in with your, intuition. Like, what's the next step? It's a process. Yeah. So there's that, and there's this deep intensity of like, how can I give, how can I give more energy to the things I love? Like, how can I be more in devotion and commitment? These are the things that really light you up, that inspire you. So this might not be it doesn't matter if you don't have a business. I'm talking to everyone here. Like the things that you love, that you just do spontaneously, whether it's painting, it's reading about goddesses, it's going out into nature walks. This is like recommitting to those things you love, making space for those things you love, right? Like if you want to go to that, actually, I've just booked a ceramics workshop for me and Paul because I was like, that would be really fun. I've been playing around with some air dry clay, and I was like, oh, I want to learn some techniques. So it's like, what do you need to make space for yourself? Because that will help you be in that receptive space, and that, any kind of creative thing that we do, anything that lights you up, is actually the way you come back to your intuition, the way you come back to that receptive, open space to life, where you receive the inspiration and you're not striving and pushing, but you're allowing things to happen naturally and to unfold in your life. Um, yeah. And then, yeah, there's this kind of there's also a really positive aspect of our mind is getting on board with our feelings. There's also that going on, which is like these deep thoughts that you're having, like you probably are quite philosophical at the moment. There's an opening emotionally, an opportunity to feel something repressed that might not have wanted to surface, that is ready to be felt and to be processed through you. That's what this is about. And allowing yourself to go into that water, allowing yourself to, um, yeah, connect with that feminine mystery, which is the unknown, which is the dark feminine. right? And this Scorpio energy is very much like Persephone, which I'm literally teaching right now. And she asks for us to lay down those facades, to lay down all those things we think we need to prove that we are worthy in this life. Okay, okay, who am I really? If I didn't have those facades, if I didn't have those stories on me, who am I really? And that feels scary to your ego, right? It doesn't want to be sort of nothingness. Um, but allowing yourself to be with that and knowing that your spirit and knowing you're like you have an infinite soul, like you can create whatever you want. It's just the mind that is telling you that you can't. Um, yeah, that's what I really want to say about that. But we're also being supported by Saturn and Neptune. So it's like helping us see the vision. It's like connecting with the bigger vision. It's like, why are you doing this? Like sometimes when we get in our heads, we forget why we started. And it's like connecting in with that bigger vision. Like, why are you doing this work? There's probably something you struggled with, and that's why you're doing the work you are, because you've overcome that challenge, you're working with that challenge yourself, and you're here to teach that to people. It's like the thing we need to teach is the thing we also learn. So there's something like that, and there's this like wise elder energy coming in. Interesting. I'm getting that like what feels obvious is it's like a fatherly energy can support you at the moment. It could be a real, your real father, but it also could just be somebody that feels like that authority figure. Somebody with authority and wisdom. Could be somebody older, that's what I'm feeling, like a wise elder, somebody that you go to for guidance and advice. But you can also connect with this person in meditation. So I'd invite you to do that. It's like, who is the person that I trust? Who is that wise elder? They could be physically older, but also just have a really old soul. Who's that? And it's like a male energy, somebody that feels really that you can trust and you feel really seen and heard with. It's like directing your vision. It's helping that person can help you can be supportive in bringing those desires into the world. Like, maybe it's you're going to write a book and that person can support you with it, maybe emotionally, physically, but there's this real nourishing support of being held by an elder, which feels really beautiful and helping you see that vision. They might help give you clarity to reflect back that vision, what it is you're really here to create. Um, Yeah, and then we've also got this aspect of, yeah, almost like the wound of, which is really interesting because I won't speak about this now because I'm sharing my in my group first, but it's almost like the wound of being cast out, the wound of being cast out of a group or a community. Um, there's something that you might feel at this time, like a past memory, is surfacing around where you've been ostracized from a group, like where you felt like the odd one out. Maybe you felt a little bit kooky or a bit weird, and like people have bullied you for being unique and a bit different. And there's a real liberation from going into this memory and this experience because actually they weren't your people in the first place. And if you've got to try and like filter yourself and dilute yourself with people, then you're ultimately not being authentic. And that could be two ways. It could be that first your ego doesn't feel safe to be that kooky, unique person, or they're just not your people because they're not going to receive you and they're really negative towards you being your true self. So there's two ways that can play out. But yeah, this is really about like planting those seeds of like what your soul like deeply desires, that passion, reconnecting with your passion, thinking deeper about what you're here to do. This is not superficial. This is really about digging deeper, like I said, into like the real heart of like why you started on this path. Like, what is it that drives you? And I don't mean drives you from a I'm doing this to be successful, drives you on a like my gut is just driven to do this. Like I'm just compelled to do this work. Because that is what will make you magnetic. When you start speaking your truth and really being true to yourself and being with this fear, this is how you come back into your true, fullest expression, right? Like, this is how you unlock your creative genius and really trust your intuition, and you allow you trust your intuition to guide you towards those desires. You give it permission to guide you. Yeah. I feel that that's all I've got to say right now, but there is some powerful energy supporting this moon. Um, and there's this real opportunity for growth. Like, whatever you plant seeds, whatever vision you start taking action on right now is going to be amplified. Is going to be that this energy is helping to for it to come into fruition, for it to grow and have a strong foundation. And a strong foundation of like something that sustains you and nourishes you on an emotional level. Like, it feels really safe to bring this thing into being. So go forth, follow those threads. What is alive for you? And just keep following those things. You don't have to know all the steps. And yeah, that's my forecast for you guys. Love to hear what that creation is that's alive in you and you are moving towards. Let me know in the comments below. And I would love to invite you also for people in Hampshire to this free epic event that I'm running in November called Nourish. Put the details below here. And if you would love more clarity and you just want clarity on your direction and how to create momentum on those things you would love to birth, then reach out. And I'm offering astrology readings. We can go deeper into that. So the links are below the video. Thanks for watching as always, guys, and I will see you again soon. Bye.